Jin stood on the quiet balcony of the human embassy station, looking at the soft glow of distant stars. He liked how calm space looked from far away. It gave him hope that things could get better. But deep inside, he knew something was changing in the galaxy. Something cold. Something dangerous. Humans had always chosen peace. They tried to help every species, even when they were not treated well in return. But the galaxy did not value kindness. Many species believed humans were weak because they avoided war. They believed humans did not know how to fight, or that they were too soft to protect themselves. Jin knew this was a mistake, but he never wanted to prove it with violence. He only wanted understanding. Inside the station, Hana walked quickly down the hall with her tablet held against her chest. She was a young engineer with bright eyes and soft steps. She believed in peace more than anyone Jin knew. She loved building things that helped people live better lives, but now she looked worried. When she reached Jin, she took a slow breath. "There is new news," she said quietly. The colony on Arin 3 sent a distress signal again. They said they were attacked last night. No one answered them. No one helped. And now the signal is gone. Jin closed his eyes for a moment. He had hoped this day would not come. "Did the Alliance respond?" he asked. Hana shook her head. "They said humans probably did something to start it. They said we should stay calm and not blame anyone until they finish their investigation. But they have not even sent a ship. They do not care." Jin felt a slow, heavy anger build inside him, but he kept his face calm. He always did. He believed anger made mistakes, but even he could feel patience slipping away. Across the station, Day sat in the pilot training room, watching a hollow map of human space. He was strong, direct, and loyal. He believed humans were reaching their limit. For years, he had seen how aliens treated human traders and workers. They pushed them, insulted them, used laws to trap them, and laughed when humans complained. Day had tried to stay quiet, but every day it became harder. When Jin walked into the room, Day stood up straight. "Did you hear?" Day asked. Jin nodded. "They hit Arin 3 again," Day said. "And the Alliance will do nothing. They never do anything for us." "We will gather the evidence," Jin said, "and I will bring it to the Council myself. We will show them what really happened. We will not act without proof." Day looked frustrated, but he respected Jin too much to argue. "I hope they listen." Later that day, Jin collected the final reports from the colony. Before the signal went silent, the colonists had recorded strange energy signatures and unknown alien ships attacking without warning. Women, men, and children had tried to flee. Some escaped, but many did not. Jin watched the recordings alone in his room. His hands were steady, but his heart felt like a heavy stone. The next morning, Jin traveled to the Alliance capital. The building was made of bright stone and glass, shaped like a giant flower. It looked peaceful from outside, but Jin knew the people inside did not treat humans fairly. He entered the main hall where the council sat in high seats. The lead counselor, tall and silver-skinned, looked down at Jin with a bored expression. "Human representative, why have you come again?" Jin placed the data crystal on the table. "A human colony was attacked. Many were lost. We request assistance and a proper investigation." The counselor picked up the crystal, examined it for only a few seconds, then tossed it aside. "We see no reason to believe this is a real threat," the counselor said. "Humans often exaggerate small events. You open too many colonies. You take too many risks. If trouble comes to you, it is because you invite it." Jin felt something inside him break a little, but he spoke calmly. "We only ask for fairness." The counselor leaned forward. "Then learn your place. The galaxy does not need humans trying to act important. You are tolerated here, not respected. Perhaps one day you will understand that." The other council members laughed quietly. They did not take Jin seriously. They never had. Jin walked out of the hall without another word. He did not trust himself to speak. He feared that if he opened his mouth, the calm mask he always wore would crack. Back at the human station, Hana and Day waited for news. When Jin returned, they saw his expression. It was still calm, still quiet, but different. Something had changed. Something deeper. "They refused to help," Jin said simply. Hana lowered her head. "How can they ignore so much pain?" Dee clenched his fists. "They think we will never do anything. They think we will always bow our heads." Jin looked out the window at the stars again. He knew humans had always been patient. They had always tried to avoid war. They believed every species deserved a chance to learn and grow. But there was a limit to kindness. a limit to tolerance, and the galaxy had been pushing humans closer to that limit every day. A soft alarm rang through the station. Hana checked her tablet. Another report from the border. A human cargo ship was destroyed. They say it was an accident, but the pattern matches an attack. The three stood in silence. Humans had forgiven insults. They had forgiven unfair taxes. They had forgiven stolen technology. They had forgiven border violations. They had forgiven threats, but now lives were being taken again and again with no justice. Day looked at Jin. How much more do we accept? Jin did not answer right away. He watched the stars, the same stars humans had protected, studied, and shared for centuries. He thought about the kindness humanity had shown. He thought about all the times they were mocked for it. He thought about the innocence lost on Aaron 3. We will stay calm, Jin said finally, but we will not forget. We will not allow this forever. The galaxy thinks we are weak because we want peace. They think we will never defend ourselves. They do not understand us. Not yet. Hana stepped closer. What do we do next? Jin looked at both of them with quiet determination. We prepare, quietly, patiently. We continue to ask for peace. But inside our hearts we get ready for the moment when the galaxy finally pushes too far. And when that day comes, humanity will no longer stay silent. Day nodded slowly. They will remember it, Jin whispered. Yes. Every species will remember the day humanity's tolerance snaps, and no one will forget it. The following days were tense but quiet. Humans continued their work, helping other species, exploring new planets, and repairing damaged stations. On the surface, it seemed nothing had changed. The galaxy still saw them as soft, peaceful, and easy to push around. But inside human hearts, patience was fraying. Every insult, every attack, every ignored plea piled on top of one another. It was like a storm gathering quietly before a thunderous strike. Hana worked in the lab, her hands steady as she repaired damaged shield generators. She studied the new energy signatures from the attacks and realized that someone was secretly taking human technology and sharing it with rival species. The aliens were not just ignoring humans, they were actively stealing from them. Her heart sank. For years, humans had tried to share knowledge, believing it would make the galaxy better, and now others used that kindness against them. She walked to Jin's office, her tablet clutched tightly. Jin, look at this, she said, showing the readings. Someone is moving our designs. They are giving them to species that might attack us. We need to stop it. Jin examined the data, his calm expression hiding a growing storm inside. We cannot act rashly, he said. We must gather proof and present it to the council. If we strike without reason, they will call us aggressors. Day entered, his face tight with frustration. Proof will not stop them from attacking our traders at the ports. Every week, humans are pushed around. And every week, the council does nothing. How long will we wait? Jin looked at both of them and sighed. We wait as long as we can, but we prepare, quietly. In the human fleets, Day trained new pilots. He drilled them in the quiet, disciplined way humans had always practiced. The ships were smaller and simpler than most alien vessels, but they were precise and strong. He showed them how to move with silence, how to defend without unnecessary risk, and how to strike only when necessary. He wanted every pilot to understand that humans did not attack out of anger. They attacked out of necessity. Meanwhile, Jin traveled again to the Alliance capital. He walked through the shining halls carrying proof of attacks and stolen technology. He wanted only fairness, only justice. But the council's reaction was the same. They looked at the evidence briefly, then laughed quietly among themselves. Humans exaggerate again, one counselor said. You think the galaxy must protect you at every turn. You will learn that peace has limits, and when it ends, it will be your own fault. Jin remained calm. We do not want war. We want justice. You can see what is happening. You can stop it, the counselors ignored him. They whispered and laughed, treating Jin as if he were a child making noise in a room for adults. He left the capital quietly, his patience thinning but his mind clear. He knew the moment was coming when humans would no longer accept such treatment. Back at the station, Hana discovered more troubling signs. Strange alien ships moved along the borders of human space. They were scouting, probing weaknesses, looking for easy targets. She studied their patterns, then told Jin and Day. They are planning something bigger, she said. Not just a raid, not just theft. They are preparing for war. Day felt a fire grow inside him. And when they strike, humans will be ready. We cannot let them hurt anyone else, Jin nodded slowly. We will remain patient, but we will not be caught off guard. Humans will protect themselves. Weeks passed and the pressure increased. The Alien Alliance passed new rules designed to make life harder for humans. Higher taxes, travel restrictions, and research bans weighed heavily on the colonies. Traders struggled to move supplies and scientists could not continue their studies. But humans adapted. They found quiet ways to maintain their work, repairing systems, moving goods in secret, and communicating with each other carefully. Hana led teams to improve defenses, upgrading shields and weapon systems without alarming the aliens. At night, Jin would walk among the stars thinking. He remembered how humans had always offered help and peace even when treated unfairly. Now he realized that kindness was no longer enough. The galaxy had seen weakness and some species were taking advantage. But humanity had something else they did not understand. Patience mixed with careful strength. He would wait. He would prepare. And when the time came, humans would act with precision. One day, a human cargo ship traveling near the edge of known space was destroyed. No warning, no help, and no one held accountable. The council called it an accident, but Jin, Hana, and Day knew the truth. It was deliberate. It was part of a plan to push humanity to the breaking point. Hana's hands trembled as she adjusted the energy readings on her tablet. Another attack, she said. We must be ready, Day's fist clenched. They think we will stay quiet forever. They are wrong. Jin placed a hand on each of their shoulders. We will not rush. We will not act out of anger. But we will not allow this to continue. Humanity's tolerance has limits. And when those limits are reached, the galaxy will see the strength humans have held quietly for centuries. The station buzzed with activity as humans prepared. They upgraded ships, trained new pilots, and strengthened colonies. But they did it silently. They did not want the galaxy to know how ready they were becoming. Each day, the humans grew stronger, more disciplined, and more united. They continued to offer peace even when it was rejected, but inside a quiet determination grew. In the council halls of the Alliance, some began to whisper among themselves. They noticed humans quietly organizing, training fleets, and sharing resources. But they laughed it off. Humans are still soft, they said. Even if they move, it is not enough. They are harmless, but Hana, Jin, and Day knew better. They had seen what humans could do when pushed too far. The galaxy had tested their patience for centuries. Now it was only a matter of time. Humanity was still calm, still peaceful on the surface, but underneath a force was gathering. And when it finally broke, no one would forget it. In secret meetings, Jin spoke to human leaders. We must continue our work. We must show kindness where we can, but we cannot ignore the growing threat. We prepare quietly. We remain patient, but we must be ready for anything. The galaxy believes we are weak, and it is almost time to show them the truth. Hana added, we have technology, strategy, and courage. We can defend ourselves and protect others, but we must wait until the moment is right. Day looked toward the stars. The moment is coming. I can feel it. And when it arrives, they will remember why humans are not to be underestimated. The days continued, tension growing with each passing hour. Human fleets were ready, engineers worked tirelessly, and colonies strengthened. Humanity's patience was nearing its limit. And yet they smiled, helped others, and continued their work. They were calm, but beneath that calm, a storm gathered quietly, ready to break over the galaxy when the moment finally came. Jin sat quietly in the strategy room of the main human station. Maps and data screens covered every wall. He studied the movements of the alien fleets, noting their patrol routes and weak points. His mind was calm, but beneath that calm was a steady determination. The council had ignored humans for too long. Now the time for preparation was critical. Hana was beside him, working on a complex display of energy readings. She adjusted shield frequencies and recalculated defensive alignments. Her hands moved with confidence. The attacks were becoming more frequent, but Hana knew that the humans were ready to respond if necessary. She looked at Jin. The aliens are probing, testing us. They do not know how strong we can be. Jin nodded. Patience, Hana. We wait and watch. We gather strength quietly, but we cannot allow them to catch us off guard. Day entered carrying a report from the pilot squads. Our fleets are ready. New pilots are trained and their skills are sharp. They understand precision and patience. We are ready to defend, and if needed, strike back. Jin studied the report and then traced his finger along the paths of potential attacks. We must show restraint. We act only when it is necessary. Every action must be controlled. The galaxy sees humans as weak, but we have something they do not understand. Our patience is our power. Across human space, engineers worked quietly to upgrade colonies and defense stations. Small, efficient ships were being prepared in secret hangars. They were not flashy, but they were strong, reliable, and built to last. Each ship, each station, and each pilot represented humanity's careful planning and disciplined training. Hana supervised the modifications herself, adjusting shield matrices to handle attacks much larger than what humans normally faced. In the quiet hours of the night, Jin took walks among the stars visible from the station's observation deck. He remembered the countless times humans had been insulted, attacked, and ignored. Yet they always offered help and peace. They had sent aid to alien worlds, even those who treated them poorly. Jin thought about Aaron 3, the destroyed colonies, and the innocent lives lost. The Council's refusal to act had hardened him. He understood that the moment was approaching when patience would no longer be enough. One day, Jin traveled again to the Alliance capital. He carried more evidence of attacks and stolen technology. He hoped for fairness, but he knew it was unlikely. When he arrived, the Council barely looked at him. They whispered, laughed, and dismissed his words before he even finished. Humans are too patient, a counselor said. They will never act. They are harmless. Jin remained calm. We do not seek conflict, but we cannot be ignored. Your people steal, attack, and insult us. We request fairness, or we will act to protect ourselves. The counselors ignored him and dismissed his warnings. They believed humanity would never reach its breaking point. They were wrong. Back at the station, Hana monitored energy readings and noticed increased movements near human borders. Unknown alien ships moved with precision, testing, probing, and preparing. They are getting ready for a larger attack, she told Jin and Day. They are trying to catch us unprepared. Day's eyes burned with determination. They will not succeed. Humans are ready, and we will show them strength. Jin nodded. Yes, Day, but we act only when it is necessary. The galaxy must see that humanity fights with honor, not cruelty. As the days passed, human leaders held secret meetings to plan their defenses. Jin spoke calmly, explaining strategy and coordination. We must be ready to protect our colonies and people. We train quietly, improve our ships, and watch our borders. But we must also maintain hope and peace wherever we can. Our strength is in discipline and patience, Hana added. We can build new shield systems that absorb attacks without harming others. We can prepare for battle without creating fear. Our technology can protect, not destroy. Day looked to the sky. The day is coming when humans will show the galaxy what patience and preparation truly mean. We have been underestimated for too long. The station was busy with activity. Engineers, pilots, and civilians all worked together. Ships were repaired, weapons systems upgraded, and new recruits trained. Every action was careful and deliberate. Humans had learned to survive, adapt, and grow even under constant pressure. The galaxy saw only calmness, but beneath it, a quiet storm of readiness gathered. Jin reviewed the latest intelligence. Alien fleets were concentrating near human borders, preparing to strike. But the humans were ready. Each colony had defensive stations, shielded spaceships, and trained crews. The pilots knew their ships, their maneuvers, and the importance of controlled action. They were not reckless. They were precise. They were disciplined. One evening, Jin, Hana, and Day gathered to discuss the final plans. The time is not yet, Jin said. We remain calm and continue our work. We protect our people, but we do not attack unless provoked. We wait for the right moment. Hana nodded. We can defend without unnecessary harm. We can show strength and honor. Day clenched his fists. And when the moment comes, the galaxy will remember. They will see what humans can do when pushed too far. In the Alliance capital, rumors began to spread. Some counselors noticed the humans' quiet preparations, but they dismissed them as minor movements. Humans are still weak, they said. They will never fight. But the truth was clear to Jin, Hana, and Day. Humans had been patient for centuries, forgiving insults, attacks, and theft. But that patience had limits, and now, the galaxy was about to test those limits. As the sun rose over distant colonies, humans continued their work with calm faces and quiet hearts. Engineers repaired, pilots trained, and leaders planned. They offered help where they could, shared resources with allies, and maintained peace. But inside every human heart knew that the time was coming when patience would end, and humanity's true strength would be revealed. And when that day arrived, the galaxy would see the quiet, disciplined, and unstoppable force that humans had built over generations. The morning air over the human research world was calm. Birds sang and the sky was a clear blue. For a moment it seemed peaceful, as if nothing could go wrong. But in the distance, dark alien ships appeared on the horizon, moving with a quiet menace. The humans did not panic. They had been preparing for this day for years. Day stood on the bridge of a fleet ship, eyes narrowed on the approaching vessels. "They think we are weak," he muttered. "They will learn their mistake soon." Jin was beside him, calm and focused. "We respond only when necessary," he said. "We protect our people. That is all." Hana worked on the control panels, adjusting shield frequencies and energy redirection systems. Her fingers moved quickly, her mind sharp. The alien ships moved closer, but Hana had already predicted their formation and potential attacks. Her technology could disable enemy weapons without harming civilians. This was human precision and honor at its finest. As the first wave of alien ships entered the atmosphere, Day's fleet moved silently into formation. Their ships were smaller but faster and more agile than the enemy. Every pilot knew their role, every movement calculated. Humans did not waste energy on unnecessary aggression. They did not fire unless they had to, and every strike was precise. The aliens fired their first shots expecting chaos, but the human shields absorbed the attacks and Hana's systems disrupted the energy weapons. The enemy ships were stunned, unable to move freely. Day led a small squadron to disable key weapons systems without destroying the ships. The aliens did not expect this. They had underestimated human skill and preparation. On the surface, colonies watched in awe. Humans had prepared quietly, but the moment of defense had arrived and it was perfect. Buildings and research centers remained untouched, civilians safe, and the attacking forces frustrated. The humans moved with control, not rage. Every action had purpose. Every move was measured. Jin activated a long-range communication system. His voice, calm and strong, echoed across the galaxy. Humans have protected their people and their homes. We do not wish for war, but we will defend ourselves and those who cannot defend themselves. This is your warning. We will not be pushed further. Other species watched in shock. The humans they had always seen as soft and weak were now defending themselves with calculated force. No unnecessary violence, no destruction beyond what was necessary. Just control, skill, and power. D's squadron disabled more alien ships, cutting through the force with perfect precision. They did not aim to kill unless unavoidable. The aliens were unprepared, confused, and terrified of the humans' discipline. They had never seen a species fight with such honor and efficiency. Hana monitored every energy pulse, every movement, making adjustments to shields and control systems. Humans had anticipated the attacks, and every adjustment she made ensured minimal damage and maximum protection. The aliens tried to regroup, but the humans' coordination was unmatched. Jin stood tall, watching the battle unfold. He thought about how long humanity had been patient, how many times they had been ignored, insulted, and attacked. He thought about Aaron 3 and the lost colonies. Every moment of restraint, every effort to avoid conflict had prepared humans for this precise moment. Now the galaxy saw the result. The alien forces, realizing they were losing control, tried to retreat. But Day's fleet moved strategically, cutting off escape routes and disabling engines without unnecessary harm. The humans were not bloodthirsty. They were precise, disciplined, and unstoppable in their method. Civilians cheered from observation points as they saw the alien ships forced to retreat. Humanity had defended without panic, without chaos, and without cruelty. The galaxy would remember this day not because of destruction, but because humans had shown their true strength. After the battle, Jin addressed his people. Today, humanity has shown that we are not weak. We have protected our colonies and our people with honor. We do not wish for war, but we will not be ignored or attacked. This is only the beginning. The galaxy now knows that patience is not weakness. It is preparation. And when humanity's tolerance snaps, no one will forget it. Hana walked beside him, her eyes bright with determination. We saved lives and proved our skill without unnecessary harm. This is what humans can do. We fight to protect, not to destroy. Day clenched his fists but smiled. They will remember. They will know that humans are not soft. They are precise, careful, and strong. We may have waited, but now the galaxy knows the truth. The news spread quickly to other colonies and to distant parts of the galaxy. The humans had defended themselves in a way no one expected. Their ships were strong, their strategies perfect, and their honor intact. The aliens had underestimated them for centuries, and now the truth was clear. In the following days, human engineers repaired any damage to colonies. They helped civilians, rebuilt research centers, and strengthened defenses even further. They continued to offer aid to other species, showing that humanity's patience and kindness were not gone, but their strength was undeniable. The Alien Alliance realized their mistake. They had mocked humans for centuries, believing patience was weakness. Now they saw that patience had created a force disciplined, powerful, and precise. Humanity had defended itself with honor, showing the galaxy that they were not to be underestimated. Jin, Hana, and Day walked among the people, proud but calm. We protected our people, Jin said. We showed strength and honor, and we remain ready. The galaxy will not forget this day, Hana smiled softly. We will continue to help and build, but we will not be pushed again. Day nodded. The moment has come. The galaxy now sees that humans are strong, and it will remember the day humanity's tolerance snapped. From that day forward, humans were no longer seen as soft or weak. Other species knew that patience had limits, and when humans decided to act, they acted with precision, control, and unstoppable strength. And the galaxy would never forget the day humanity defended itself, with honor and power for the first time in centuries. The galaxy was changing. The news of humanity's defense spread quickly. Other species, who had watched humans as weak and soft, were now in awe. The calm patience humans had shown for centuries had finally ended, and their strength was undeniable. Humanity had acted with precision, honor, and courage, showing that they would defend themselves and those who could not defend themselves. Jin stood on the observation deck of the main station, looking at the galaxy beyond. He thought about all the years humans had been patient, all the times they had been ignored, attacked, or insulted. That patience had finally transformed into power, carefully measured and disciplined. Humans were no longer just peaceful. They were respected. Hana worked beside him, adjusting the shields of the rebuilt colonies. The systems were stronger than ever, prepared for any future threats. She had learned that technology, when used carefully, could protect without harming innocence. Humanity's victories were not just in battle. They were in intelligence, preparation, and careful planning. Day trained new pilots, their eyes wide with excitement and determination. He showed them how to move with precision, how to strike only when necessary, and how to protect lives while defending their people. The young pilots admired the stories of the recent battles, understanding that human strength was not in anger or violence, but in discipline and skill. Across the galaxy, species who had once looked down on humans began changing their alliances. They had witnessed a force that was both powerful and honorable, and they respected it. Some sought to join humanity's cause, to be part of a species that valued life, skill, and fairness. The humans remained patient in diplomacy, but strong in defense. The Alien Alliance, the ones who had mocked humans for centuries, realized they had miscalculated. They had expected chaos or fear, but humans had acted with controlled precision. They had not destroyed unnecessarily. They had protected civilians, and they had shown that patience could become unstoppable power. The Council scrambled to reassess their strategy, but they knew that humans were no longer to be underestimated. Jin, Hana, and Day met with leaders from human colonies. They spoke of rebuilding, of continuing to help other species, and of maintaining peace wherever possible. We defend, but we do not destroy without reason, Jin said. Our patience ended in a moment of protection, but our kindness remains. The galaxy will remember this day, Hana smiled. We can continue to share technology, help colonies, and offer assistance. But we are ready for anything now. Day added. We have trained our fleets, prepared our defenses, and protected our people. We have shown the galaxy our true strength. This is a new era for humanity. In the following weeks, humans continued to help where they could. They rebuilt colonies, shared resources, and assisted struggling species. The galaxy began to see humanity in a new light. They were not just peaceful. They were strong, disciplined, and honorable. They were a force to respect, not fear. But they were ready to act decisively if necessary. The Council of the Alien Alliance tried to respond with threats and challenges. But humanity's new reputation changed the balance. Many species sided with humans, inspired by their honor and discipline. The galaxy had learned a hard lesson. Humans were not weak, and patience was not endless. When pushed, humans could act with precision, strength, and strategic power that no one could ignore. Jin walked among the people of a rebuilt colony. Children played, adults worked, and life continued. He felt a quiet pride. Humanity had protected itself without cruelty. They had shown that patience and kindness were not weaknesses, but strengths that, when combined with discipline, could create an unstoppable force. Hana joined him, watching the sky. We have protected more than our people. We have shown the galaxy what humanity truly is. Day nodded. They will remember. Every species will know that patience has limits, and when humanity decides to act, they act with honor and power. The day would never be forgotten. Humanity had chosen patience for centuries, forgiving insults, attacks, and theft. But when the galaxy pushed too far, humanity acted. With precision, skill, and honor, they defended their people and protected the innocent. They had shown that they were not soft, weak, or easily underestimated. And so, humanity rose in the eyes of the galaxy. Other species respected them, feared them in battle, and admired them in peace. The memory of the day humanity's tolerance snapped would last forever. No species would forget it, and no one would doubt human strength again. Jin, Hana, and Dai stood together, looking out at the stars. We are ready, Jin said softly. We will continue to build, help, and protect. But the galaxy will never underestimate humanity again. Hana smiled. Our patience has limits, but our kindness endures. That is the true strength of humanity. Day looked to the horizon, and the galaxy will always remember the day we defended ourselves, the day humanity's tolerance snapped. The stars shone brightly as if acknowledging the new era. Humanity had changed the galaxy, not through cruelty or conquest, but through disciplined strength, honor, and the courage to act when the time was right. The galaxy would never forget, and humanity would never be weak again.